There was this little 10-year-old boy. He wanted a pair of roller skates really bad, so he said to his dad, "Dad, would you please buy me a pair of roller skates?" And his father said, "No, son." He said, "I'll take you to the store to acquire those roller skates, but you're going to have to save your money so you could get your own pair of roller skates." The little boy picked up a few jobs in his neighborhood, doing a few little sweeping projects and cleaning some grass and raking some leaves. And finally, he earned enough money, so he thought to get these roller skates. And he said to his dad, "Dad, I got enough money. Will you take me to the store to get the roller skates?" And his father said, "Sure." So they went to the store, and the little boy bought the roller skates, and they got back home, and Dad pulled his car up the driveway and into the garage. Little boy jumps out of the car with his roller skates, runs out into the driveway, puts the roller skates on his feet. He stands up, and this is what happened. And after he fell down, he picked himself up, he dusted off his pants, he decided to try it again, and this is what happened. And after he picked himself up, he decided to try it again, and this is exactly what happened the third time. And after he fell the third time, the father ran over, he says, "Son, do yourself a favor. Take those roller skates off. You're going to wind up killing yourself." And the little boy said to his dad, "No, Dad, I didn't buy these roller skates to learn how to quit. I bought these roller skates to learn how to skate." You see, that's the key point of today's gospel reading. It is easy to quit. It is easy to give up. It is easy to stop praying, believing prayer doesn't work and Jesus doesn't answer my prayer. All those things are easy to do. But the challenge of the gospel is to remain steadfast, to understand that I need to be persistent in my prayer life. If God is going to answer my prayer, He has to know what it is. He has to know that my prayer remains consistent, that my prayer is honest, my prayer is the same thing day after day, and then just maybe, God will answer my prayer. That's the key point of the gospel reading. Let's take a look at a section out of the gospel this evening. Now, this section is coming out of the 15th chapter of Matthew, verses 21 to 23. Let me just share this with you, and you can follow along. At that time, Jesus withdrew to the region of Tyre and Sidon. And behold, a Canaanite woman of that district came and called out, "Have pity on me, Lord, Son of David. My daughter is tormented by a demon." But Jesus did not say a word in answer to her. You see, the Canaanites, for the most part, lived in Tyre and Sidon. So it's not surprising this lady who shows up was a Canaanite. And she had faith in Jesus because she said to Jesus, "Have pity on me, Lord, Son of David." And after she shows her faith, and then she presents her request, "My daughter is tormented by a demon." Now, what I want you to do is look at those three verses, and do you see anything, what I would call unusual, about those three verses? There's something there that just doesn't initially make any sense at all. Do you see it? How many people see it? Do you see something there that seems very strange? Well, take a look at the last line. But Jesus did not say a word in answer to her. He doesn't say a word. She offers her request. She gives him her petition. "My daughter is tormented by a demon. I have faith in you, Jesus, Son of David. Have pity on me." And all that, Jesus doesn't say a word. You see, this gospel reading tonight is really important. If we have anyone here tonight that is dealing with pain or painful situation, where something about your life is problematic, and this gospel reading, you want to follow along and listen to it, because Jesus shows us the methodology he uses in order to answer our prayers. Jesus is giving this lady a litmus test. He's making sure if your prayer request is honest, it's sincere, you'll come back and ask the same question. If your request is veneer, thick, it really is something you just thought of a couple minutes ago, you're not really sincere about it, then when I don't respond to you, you're going to walk away and never present your prayer request again. Is that what that lady does? Let's take a look what she does. Let's move to another section. This is again the 15th chapter of Matthew, this time verse 25 and 28. But after Jesus doesn't respond to her, she comes back. But the woman came and did Jesus homage, saying, "Lord, help me." Now, you didn't respond the first time, but guess what, Jesus? My prayer request is authentic. My daughter's been tormented for some time. I have this problem in my life, and it's fleeting, it's not phony, it's authentic. I need your help, and I need it now. That's why she said, Lord, save me. But Jesus said in reply, look at this. It is not right to take the food of children and throw it to the dogs. You know what that means? Does anyone here have an idea what that means? It is not right to take the food of children and throw it over to the dogs. You know, I said to myself, that seems kind of convoluted. So I went to several biblical commentaries to get a feel and understanding of what that means. You know what I discovered? What it means? It means absolutely nothing at all. Doesn't mean anything. It's just something Jesus said. He gave her this response that you look at it and you wonder, are you okay, Jesus? Because I have no idea what you just said. And actually what he's doing is he's running a test on this lady. This, again, is that litmus test. Jesus just came up with something. He is buying time. He's putting a roadblock in front of her for the second time. The first time he never responds. The second time he responds with something that's convoluted. If this lady's prayer request is sincere, it's authentic, it's not fleeting, it's not phony, she's going to come back. But if it is fleeting, he'll never hear from her again. She's going to walk away and say, well, this guy, I have faith in him, but he's sure not going to help me. He can't help me. And look at what happens. She responds to what's convoluted. She said, please, Lord, even the dogs eat the scraps that fall from the table of their masters. She presents a pretty good idea. And look at the result of being persistent in prayer and not giving up. And then Jesus said to her, O woman, great is your faith. What he's actually saying is not only your faith solid in me, because you believe that I can solve your problem and I can answer your problem, but the faith you have is great in yourself. You believe in yourself. Because you're presenting this problem, you're not going to take no for an answer. You came back again, you came back the third time. Great is your faith. And with that, what happens? Let it be done for you, not for me, but for you as you wish. And the woman's daughter was healed from that very moment. What an interesting methodology Jesus offers for all of us when it comes to dealing with prayer. So often our prayer is false. Walk with someone in a car lot on a Sunday when you're just out looking at cars. And if you're with someone, perhaps a family member or friend, you're walking through the car lot, they'll say, boy, God, I'd love to have that car. And then a couple minutes later, they say, no, I'd rather have that car. And I'd rather have that car. And Jesus is probably saying, good thing I didn't give you your answer to your first prayer, because I would have gave you the car now that you don't want. He's got to make sure that your request is sincere and it's honest and it's persistent, and every time he doesn't seem to answer and every time he doesn't seem to respond, are you coming back or are you going to give up? Because if you give up, that means what? You really never wanted to answer it in the first place. You don't even know what it is. You just surrendered and you let it go. You see, Jesus in many ways isn't like UPS. Jesus does not offer overnight delivery. And when you have a prayer request and there's something in your heart, something that's very important, you present it to Jesus, he's probably not going to respond initially. He wants to make sure, is this something you really, really want, or are you just saying it? And if you come back and you come back and you come back and it remains the same and remains the same and remains the same, guess what's going to happen? Your prayer will be answered. It will be answered his way, his style, his time, but it will be answered. You know, that little boy was right. When the father said to the little boy after falling 3 times, the dad said, son, look, take those skates off. You're going to kill yourself. The little boy said what? He said, Dad, I didn't buy these skates to learn how to quit. I bought these skates to learn how to skate because this is something I want, and I'll do it. And if the prayer you're praying for is something you want, and you remain consistent and persistent, eventually, yes, God will respond. What an interesting methodology.